Do you have a dream? I had a dream. And today I want to tell a little bit about how my dream came true. Well, kinda. When I was 12 years old, the staircase that went from the first floor to the second floor, that was my Madison Square Garden. The step at the bottom, that was my stage. My tennis racket, that was my guitar. And the broom, that was my microphone. I wanted to be a rock star. And the mirror in front of me, that was my MTV. Every day after school, I come home, I drop my book bag, I go to the stereo, turn it up to 10, take my Def Leppard Hysteria LP, put it on, and pour some sugar on me in the name of love. And I was no longer a kid. I was a rock star, on my knees, screaming guitar, screaming fans. I didn't want to watch that life on MTV. I wanted that life. March 21st, 1989, I was in grade 7, and my parents gave me my first guitar for my birthday. I can still smell that wood. I can still feel the weight of that guitar in my hands and how my fingers were cut by the strings from practicing so much. But I knew that this is what I wanted. Little did I know that adversity would come and take that dream and transform it, break it apart, and turn it into something else. And that is the story I want to tell you about today, on how that dream came true somehow. I spent my high school years practicing guitar, singing, writing songs, performing every chance I had at every assembly, at church, at parties, with my friends, and yes, of course, in front of my mirror, in my very own MTV at home. That's what I wanted. But then a door opened up when I was in grade 12. 2 friends of mine came in. You know what? We got a job after school. We get paid to act. And I said, ooh, you get paid to do drama after school? I want to do that. And I asked them to recommend me, and I got an interview. I went in, and they said, okay, cool. Here's a monologue. You have 15 minutes to prepare. I had never done a monologue in my life. I had never acted in my life. But I had been practicing in front of that mirror in my house, in my own MTV. It was quiet. They were watching. And I could hear my heart. And I got the job. I got hired to do drama. Peer educational theater, teens and theater. It was a theater company of students who went to different schools to perform, to teach about drugs and alcohol and being safe and peer pressure. We took these crazy stories, acted them in front of students in jails and in schools, and then we would stop and they would say, this is what you do and this is how you fix that problem. And that was my first experience. One day, we went to a TV station and we recorded our performance. And they started playing that over and over every single day in that channel. It was a local channel, but people saw it and people started to recognize me in the street. It said, you're that guy. You're that guy that talks about not doing drugs and about not drinking and about being safe and not fighting and all of that stuff. And I had to live up to that. I couldn't do anything different other than what people saw me. And that's when I realized that with drama and with performance, we have a responsibility and we can make an impact in people's lives. That same year, I also got the first taste of doing a real musical theater production with professional actors who could sing. They were talented, they could dance, they can do it, everything, and I wanted that. I asked them, how did you learn that? At the university. So what did I do? I registered for the university as a musical theater major, and it was amazing. Rehearsing and practicing, everyone helping each other, long hours, lots of discipline. But then something happened. My dad's job took everyone, and they cut their salaries in half. If not, the company would close. And they couldn't pay for my university anymore. So instead of following my dream, I have to think about surviving, and I had to go work. work full-time during the day so that I can pay my way to school at night. And what did that mean? It meant that when I walked the hallways and I heard my friends in their rehearsal rooms writing their own music, I couldn't do that because they had to be there all day, and I couldn't study musical theater at night. So I changed my major. I became a Spanish literature and culture, and I got my degree in Spanish. And I started teaching Spanish, and it was really cool, because I went into the Spanish classroom, and I brought my guitar, and I sang songs in Spanish, and the kids learned to sing the songs in Spanish, and we did some drama in Spanish, and they learned to speak, and it was really cool. And I worked really hard, and then at night, I was in the studio practicing and recording with my band. And you know what? That work paid off. In 2005, our songs were playing on the radio. We were performing on TV. We were performing everywhere. And we got offered a publishing and recording contract. But then nothing happened. The contract never happened, and that's when I realized that I had to do something else. I was 30 years old. I can't follow this dream, so I moved to Colombia. I visited my country, where my parents came from. New culture, food, music, 2-hour breaks at lunchtime every single day, carnivals. And I also got my master's in education and got certified to teach English, and I did that for 11 years. My new dream was to be the best educator that I could be. But another door opened up, the door of love. I discovered and met my wife, and we started a family. And now, my dreams weren't my dreams, it was our dreams. And together, we made a big choice. China. We came to China, to the other side of the world. Not me, all 4 of us came to China, to a country we knew nothing about, a language we didn't know, the food we didn't know, but we came on faith because a door opened and we said yes. And when I got to school here, I came to teach English and to lead the academic program for the middle school in the MYP. November, I get stopped by this principal at the time, and I get told, our drama teacher quit. He's not coming back after Christmas. We need a drama teacher. You start right after Christmas. What? I never even graduated with a degree. I'm an English teacher. I'm a Spanish teacher. You can do it. We believe in you. And I said yes. Okay. So I took on the drama program, and you know what? I loved it. It was like almost 20 years had passed since I'd been doing that in the classroom, and now I was doing it with students. And then the first question came up and says, so what musical are you going to do? What? We don't have scripts. We have a very few kids. And I said, okay, fine. We can't do a show that exists because we have these kids with this musical ability. Let's write a musical. Whoever wants to be in the show, come and join. Let me hear your voice. And I started writing songs to match their voices. And we built a story. And we had Behind His Walls. Behind His Walls was the very first musical ever shown on this stage in 2017. And I wrote that using some of my old songs and some of the new songs and transforming them to match the voices of the kids in there, because it wasn't about me. It was about those kids having an opportunity to do something great, to collaborate, to dance, to build a team. And the name of the story, the characters, Carlos, courage. Katie, kindness. Wendy, wisdom. Annabelle, adaptability. CKWA. And the story Behind His Walls was about what happens with the students behind the walls of this building and what happens in the walls of our heart. That's what the story was about. After 2017, when I directed my first musical here in China, that's what I wanted to do. It took me all the way from the US to Colombia, from Colombia to China to be able to fulfill that dream. And I did it here. And I've directed so many musicals with so many kids, over hundreds of kids, and maybe about 20 or 30 teachers that I've worked with, which has been a pleasure, and every time is a new story. We have transformed this place in a magical place with burning houses and things that fall and forests and magic and snow and curtains that go up and curtains that go down. And we've made it happen as a team. I'm not a rock star. I'm not a performing star. But I've realized that my life is about helping young people reach the stars. and fulfill their dreams. And that's why I chose this career. So yes, adversity may have changed my life, but my life is the result of one word: yes. Yes to auditioning. Yes to becoming a teacher. Yes to marriage and family. Yes to moving halfway around the world. And yes to accepting a job that I never applied to. Because you know what, guys? Life will open doors for you. And it may not look like the door that you want to walk through. It may not look like your dream. But you know what? When life opens a door for you, you've got to take it. And you've got to embrace it. Because that might be the door that is waiting for you. Thank you.